You can talk all day. You can send her essays, voice notes, and poetry, promising the world. You can say all the right things, play the perfect gentleman, and still she won't stay. Because words don't touch her soul, energy does. A man's words mean nothing if his spirit doesn't back them up. Can feel when you're pretending. Can sense when your masculinity is still untested, when your confidence comes from validation, not from truth. Women don't follow words. They follow the energy of power, calm, controlled, unbothered, disciplined, and certain. That's what she craves. Not your compliments, not your effort, but your presence. The presence of a man who no longer needs her to complete him. A man who already walks with purpose, power, and direction. Because a woman's deepest instinct is not to be loved by a man who talks. It to follow a man who leads. And leadership starts with one thing: inner power. Chapter 1: The Masculine Frequency. Energy is everything. When a man walks into a room, people feel him before they hear him. Voice, his posture, his silence, it all speaks louder than words. The truth is, women are not attracted to logic, they're drawn to vibration. That's why the weak talk and the strong simply move. You can't explain your power, you radiate it. You can't convince her to respect you, you embody it. The feminine responds to energy the way gravity responds to mass. The greater your internal power, the stronger your pull. This is why women orbit powerful men, not because they chase them, but because they can feel something rare. Stability, certainty, direction. Power is not loud. Power is not performance. Power is calm dominance, a silence that says, I am. Chapter 2: The Trap of Words. Most men try to win women through words. They try to persuade, explain, and justify. They beg for attention or overcompensate with validation. But the moment you start explaining your value, you already lost it. Power never explains itself, it just is. The modern world has made men forget this truth. We live in a time where talking replaced being. Everyone's talking confidence, talking purpose, talking alpha. But few have done the silent work that makes a man magnetic. You can talk about purpose, but if you're still scrolling all day and running from pain, she will feel that weakness. You can say, I'm different, but if your habits betray your words, your energy exposes you. Women may not know psychology, but they are wired to sense truth. You can't fake it. You can't trick biology. You either are grounded or you're not. Chapter 3: Power is built in solitude. Real masculine energy is forged in isolation. It's not built through validation, relationships, or comfort. It's built when you walk alone, when you face your demons, your failures, and your ego. In solitude, you face the mirror of truth. Find out what you really are without applause, without praise, without anyone watching. Every great man in history, from Marcus Aurelius to Caesar to Jung, spent long seasons in silence. Because that's where men find themselves. That's where power roots itself within. A man who has walked through his darkness no longer needs to impress. He no longer chases approval because he knows the source of power is internal. When a man is full of his own energy, his presence commands respect. By demand, by gravity. That's what women feel. That's what they follow. Not your words, your gravity. Chapter 4: Energy over Explanation. Have you ever noticed how the same words from two different men create two different reactions? One man says, I want you, and she rolls her eyes. Another man says the same thing, and she melts. Because one man speaks from emptiness, the other speaks from fullness. Needs her energy, the other offers his. That's the secret most men never learn. Attraction is not about what you say. It's about the energy behind what you say. When your words carry the frequency of certainty, they pierce her subconscious. When your silence carries power, she feels safe and challenged at the same time. That's the paradox of masculine energy. It both calms and excites the feminine. It says, I don't need you, but I choose you. Every woman wants to be chosen, not needed. Chapter 5: The Law of Polar Energy. Masculine energy leads. Feminine energy follows. Not because one is higher, but because one anchors the other. When a man loses polarity, when he becomes emotionally unstable, reactive, and needy, he collapses into her energy. When he collapses, she feels unsafe. It's not about dominance over her, it's about dominance within yourself. The man who leads his emotions leads his world. That's why a woman's attraction rises when she feels your stillness, your ability to remain centered even when she tests you. Because your stability signals strength. The feminine tests the masculine not out of cruelty, but to confirm your foundation. Doesn't care about your smooth talk. She cares about whether you can hold her emotional storm without breaking. That's why she follows power, not words. Chapter 6: The Power of Non-Reaction. A powerful man is not reactive. He doesn't argue, explain, or defend his worth. He observes. He listens. He decides whether something deserves his energy or not. This level of restraint is rare. It comes from emotional mastery, the ability to feel anger, lust, or pain without losing control. The modern man thinks power is dominance over others. But the highest power is mastery over self. You can't lead a woman if you can't lead yourself. You can't command respect if you're still ruled by emotions. The man who controls his reactions controls his destiny. And that calmness, that steady composure, is what draws women, followers, and respect. They don't follow the loudest man. They follow the calmest one. Chapter 7: Power Speaks Through Silence. Silence is a lost art. Men talk too much, reveal too much, chase too much. They expose their plans, reveal their emotions, and leak their energy. The powerful man speaks less, but when he does, the room listens. Because his silence carries weight. That's why women remember the man who says little, but radiates authority. That's why your presence matters more than your pickup lines. Never forget, energy precedes language. Before she hears you, she feels you. That's why inner work matters. You can't fake power, you have to become it. Chapter 8: Becoming the Power She Feels. You want to be magnetic. Then stop performing and start transforming. The gym builds your body. But solitude builds your presence. Discipline builds your aura. Integrity builds your trust. The more integrated you become, the more women and the world respond to your energy. When you master your finances, your emotions, your habits, your mission, your aura changes. You start walking differently, speaking differently, breathing differently. Your silence becomes louder than other men's shouting. And women, they feel it. They start chasing your energy, not your attention. Because you've become what every woman subconsciously seeks. A safe storm, a man of direction, power, and grounded presence. Chapter 9: The Man Who Does Chase. The man who doesn't chase is not lazy, he's selective. He understands that his energy is his kingdom. He's not desperate for connection, he creates it. He's not looking for validation, he radiates it. He's not begging for loyalty, he commands it by being loyal to his purpose. This man doesn't play games, he sets the tone. He doesn't wait for permission, he moves with conviction. That's the energy women follow. That's the energy kings carry. When you embody that, you don't need to talk, your aura talks for you. Chapter 10: the return of the real masculine. The world doesn't need more talkers. It needs more men of presence, who walk with purpose, who don't fold under emotion, who are gentle yet unbreakable. When you become that, everything changes. Your relationships shift. Your respect multiplies. And women stop testing you because they can feel the depth of your spirit. Stop chasing attraction, you become attraction. This is what Carl Jung meant when he said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate." A powerful man is a conscious man, aware, grounded, in control. In conclusion, stop explaining your worth. Stop chasing validation. Stop giving your energy to people who drain it. Instead, build yourself into power. Train your body. Discipline your mind. Conquer your emotions. Protect your focus. Walk like a man who knows he is the storm. Because women, the world, life itself, they don't follow words. They follow power. This is King Energy, where men remember what it means to walk in power. Subscribe and reclaim your energy.